Zach Brown, Mr. Worldwide. This is how you change the world. Let's ride.
Get lost with me tonight. Cruise slow motion, chase the sun as we burn one down. Get lost with me tonight.
We go
High as a mother, nothing's gonna stop us now.
na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us.
Good morning, good morning.
No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us. I'm here to remind y'all, just in case you forgot, Mr. Worldwide, the world's my block. I'm like time, I never stop. I'm from the bottom, y'all keep the top. See nobody, fear no one. Still the hottest thing under the sun. Still got it locked.
We're gonna let everybody kind of sign in and stuff here, but as always, we'll start with our 3 wins for the week. Make sure that if you have one, that you're ready to share here this morning.
Get lost with me tonight. Cruise slow motion, chase the sun as we burn one down. Get lost with me tonight.
We go
High as a mother, nothing's gonna stop us now.
na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, hustling blood, sweat, tears. I say what they want, I do what they don't. I am what they ain't. I go hard like Shaq in the paint. I'm a fighter, survivor, rider. NASCAR teams Orlando. Track house bringing that fire. Zach Brown and Pit, fire. You can knock me down, but you won't knock me out. I love it when they count me out. Now let's party to the nights that we can't remember with the friends that we can't forget. Get lit.
Get lost with me tonight. Cruise slow motion, chase the sun as we burn one down. Get lost with me tonight.
We go
High as a mother, nothing's gonna stop us now.
na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. I don't need water, I need a drink. So pass me a bottle and let's get lit. I don't need water, I need a drink. So pass me
High as a mother, nothing's gonna stop us.
no, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now. Na na na. No, no, no. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now.
Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guys, what's going on out there? Man, so much good shit. I see Robert McLaughlin on. Welcome to the family, brother. And I see his brother. I saw his brother on here, but super excited to have Justin McLaughlin back on this Friday call as usual. But guys, super excited about today's call to kind of recap from the Tony Robbins event that about 15 of us went to. A lot of you guys have been with us in the past, and so I want to get your guys' feedback and stuff on that as well. But before we get to that, as always, we need to start with gratitude. I need 3 volunteers, or else I voluntold you, that want to share something good that's going on in your life. Could be personal, could be business. Talk to us. Tell us what's going on.
Morning from Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
This is what
you
I'm
better be
grateful for.
that.
Hold on, let me show you. This is what I'm grateful for right here. Look at that beautiful view. We are here for a
Yeah.
Brent Gove Mastermind. So we just got
Absolutely.
in last night.
Has
That's what I'm grateful for.
Has it started yet, or does it start today?
It starts tonight.
Beautiful. Yeah, you should be grateful. That's really cool experience. And I can't wait to recap next week and hear all about it. Some of your guys' biggest takeaways and stuff there as
Absolutely.
well. So, awesome. Good first way to start out. Who else has something to be grateful for today?
I do.
Talk to me.
I just got my first Zoom asset.
Look at that.
Thanks to Larry
Congratulations,
White.
Maggie. Yes. You know, sometimes it's not what we know, sometimes it's who we know, right?
Yes.
But no, here's the thing. We have a lot of relationships and stuff in our group. Our relationships will open up doors. Your performance will keep you in it, right? Like, I can't stop that, right? Excuse my language, if we fuck up on an asset, if we don't do a task, if we don't do something, like, our job is to protect that client and their assets. I just like to surround myself with amazing people that crush that side of the business so we can do more of it. So congratulations on that there, Maggie. Super, super happy for that. And who has our third one for the week? I'll wait.
Well,
Hey, Larry, I can go.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead, please.
Well, we'll take them both. Kirk, why don't you start with us, my friend?
Well, I was just going to say that I closed on my first ADR asset today. So thank you for including me in your group, and I'm looking forward to more.
Absolutely, man. There's going to be a lot more. I mean, this is 8 years of business that we're building right here. So again, you keep doing the work, do the great shit every single day, and then we get lucky at the end of that road. So keep it up there, man. That's awesome. And Ravi, what did you have over there, my friend?
Hey, closing the year on a strong note. 4 transactions, 2 already closed this week, 2 more closing Monday and Tuesday next week. So closing on a strong year.
That is a strong year. What is that in volume? Is that like 30 million in volume with 4 deals up there? Like what is the volume on 4 transactions up there?
Close to 40 million for the whole year. Oh, sorry, 30 million for the whole year.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, let's jump into this. Cynthia was super excited about that. I don't know what she said, but it was excited. I know it was excited. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into things. So, every single year in November, there is a group of us that goes to Tony Robbins, and every year it's a little bit different based on location and stuff like that. Guys, I'm telling you, like, I want all of you guys there, if at all possible. And this is where I want you guys to start planning for an event like this, because it's not cheap, right? Like, this one was in Newark, New Jersey, right? And most of us have to travel from quite some ways, right? There's hotel, there's lodging. The ticket alone for the event is $1,000. But as you will hear, as I start talking to the people that attended with us or that's attended in the past, like, how do you put a price on something that changes your life? Right? I want you to think about that, right? We spend money on so much other stupid things in our life, right? And then it's the things when we come down to spend money on ourselves, when we come down to invest on ourselves, we're like, I don't know if I have enough. Like, this is where you have to start making enough. This is where you can start budgeting, right? If you know this is going to be a burden on you in the future, start planning for it now. We're a year out. Put $200 away every single month into something that you guys don't do, because like the reason that we keep going back is because it literally changed the trajectory of my life. And every person that I share that experience with has very similar sentiments, right? They're like, it's hard to explain unless you actually go. Now, here's the thing, full disclosure. It is the best sales presentation I've ever seen in my life. It is a sales presentation. He runs $1 billion a year business. But the way that he guides you through this process to break down like your limiting beliefs that a lot of times are not your limiting beliefs, right? A lot of times they stem from other people that were trying to protect you, right? Anybody ever heard the slogan like, oh, money is the root of all evil, right? Or like, how does that make your relationship with money if you think it is the goddamn root of all evil, right? Probably not very good. Like, I don't think money is good or bad. I don't think people are good or bad. It's how we use some of these things at the end of the day. But at some point, it was probably instilled in somebody to protect somebody else. If you came from a scarcity type mindset that you didn't have a lot of money, you were worried how you were going to turn bills on, right? A parent might say, like, oh, yeah, money's bad. We don't need money. We don't like those people with money, right? Like, those people act this way or do that because they wanted to protect their children in case their children didn't have money. So you have to decide, is that your belief or somebody else's belief that was instilled in you? And those are some of the things that happen. And it gets really deep, as you're going to hear as we talk about this here today. But guys, I just can't say enough great things. And I'm so grateful for every person that has been on that journey with me, that shared that space. I think last year we had close to 40 people. This year we had a little over 15 people. And if we can get 15 people, 50 people in our group, they will actually block off a section and stuff for us. So that's the goal for next year. And so hopefully this conversation and stuff will spark some interest. It's not a rah-rah session. Like, it is so much deeper than that. And so, Kelly Jones, you are on here bright and early from Puerto Rico, wind blowing in your hair. And this was your first experience with a Tony Robbins type event, too. Where
Yeah.
do you start? Like, where do you start?
It was really good. It was, I didn't really know what to expect. I know I drugged Jeff along, so I would say that was a huge win, but I feel we walked away with a ton of good things, not only for our business, but also our relationship. So it was really powerful there. And I would just say, I wrote down a lot of stuff, and I don't have obviously my notes with me in Puerto Rico, but I would say the biggest thing is just having that different mindset every day. And it helps you with your business. So I've been doing priming pretty much every day since we left. I've had my VA started doing priming because she deals with anxiety. She said it helps tremendously. My best friend has been doing priming. Like, I've been sharing this priming exercise with everyone. So it's a total game changer, and it just helps you start your day right. Takes 10 minutes. And it really gets you in your right mindset for the day. So that was I think that was my biggest takeaway, and I've been able to share it with others. But just writing down my goals, and then letting go of things that limiting beliefs, and believing that I can do something, and just reminding myself of that. So that was my takeaway. And I came back really freaking sick.
Yeah, you do. You push your body to the limit, guys. You don't understand. You go with no sleep. You go with no food. You walk across fire. You do things that you're like, why? Right? Like talking about it now, you guys will probably be like, why the hell did you guys sit there for 14 hours? Right? Like, why would you walk across 14 feet of hot coals? Because we can. Right. And like, when you start to create that mindset and that mantra that, like, when you want to do something, you go for it. Right. And here's the thing, like, Kelly Jones has always had an amazing morning routine already. Right. So to add on to it, and then as she talked about the beautiful part of sharing it with other people, like, that is the key, right? Like, all of you guys are already successful. Like, this is where we get some growth opportunities by helping other people. And that is one of my favorite aspects of this, right? When you see people have breakthroughs that have been stuck, and they're like, fuck this, no more, right? I'm not living my life like that anymore. This is my time to shine, right? Like, stop dimming my light and let's go. That is one of the most beautiful things that you will experience watching somebody else grow through that moment. So, Kelly Jones, so grateful for everything we've been through, but that we've been through that. Now, where's your counterpart? Where's Mr. Jeff Russell that was dragged to this event?
He's next to me, but he's in front of me, so I don't know if he can speak. Are you on, Jeff? Not really. He's in. Oh, there he is.
So Jeff, if you don't mind, brother, you were dragged to this event. You were like, I've already walked on fire. I don't want to listen to people crying, blah, 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 blah. And so from somebody that was resistant, that had been through it in the past, like, bro, what was your takeaway, right? Like, what did you get anything out of it? Was it a waste of time? Like, what was your biggest takeaway, man?
Um, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. I guess, I don't know. My biggest takeaway is probably the limited beliefs, to be honest. And that was probably what I didn't want to be there for, as you remember, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that, the whole, how you get rid of the limiting beliefs I was really into, but it really made me recognize how many limited beliefs I really did have and how it was limiting me, right? By having those beliefs.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest thing I got out of it, and has helped me like with my prospecting and with my, before I even pick up the phone, I'm already in my mind thinking what people are going to say to me. But now it's like, okay, if you put it out there in the universe that, if that's not really what the perception is, and that it's all in my head, that's really has helped me tremendously. I mean, got 3 days of it. I mean, I've been before, as Larry said, I walked on fire. I thought it was great. I mean, and I was just telling my friend here that I'm staying with in Puerto Rico, Steve, that's sitting right next to me, that because he wants to go, and we'll have him come with us next time. But that I would go again. I mean, it was. I mean, because the more times I know, right? The more times I hear it, right? I mean, Tony Robbins is a brilliant person. Like, he's a brilliant human being. So, I mean, success leaves clues, and I would definitely do it again. So, and I definitely recommend it for anybody that hasn't done it. Do it at least once. I mean, when I did it last time, I was what am I, 57 now? Hard to say, but I was like 37 last time I did it. It was just over 20 years ago. So it's definitely something you should do. And I highly recommend it.
Look at that. He's willing to go again, Kelly Jones. Like, without even us prying him, forcing him, buying his ticket without him knowing. That is awesome.
Well, you remember I said I'm here under protest, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Because here's the thing, guys, and I want to tell you this, right? A lot of people do not want to go because, and Jeff would joke about this going into it. He's like, I like my demons, right? I don't want to change. Like, change is hard. And right, we know right now the good parts and the bad parts of ourselves. This is where we work on it. People ask, I've been going once to twice a year since 2014 now, right? People are like, why do you keep doing that? Like, why do you go to these ayahuasca retreats? Why do you do this? It's because every time I go in and there's something that's challenging in my life that I focus on, I work on that, and then I come back stronger. And so every time I'm trying to level up and continue to get better and better. And I feel like that's what's wrong with our society right now, is like, we get old, we retire, we die. Like, I want to grow for the rest of my life, right? Well, like, I'm a long ways from Jeff's 57, but when I'm 57, I want to be going back there still and growing as an old ass man like Jeff Russell. Like, that sounds awesome to me.
Hey, Larry, I'm older than Jeff, so watch it.
Yes. Yeah, it was just a joke.
Yeah,
no, but it's about this constant growth, because we all, like, our lives change, right? Our relationships with people change. Our relationships with business and kids and stuff change. And are they where you want them to be right now? Like, that is a question that only you can answer. And when you go every day, you work on health, wealth, relationships, your relationships and stuff with yourself. And we don't do that enough in our society, right? Like, we work so much, we distract ourselves, we have some drinks, we numb the pain, right? We do all of this, but there's a beautiful part when you actually focus on that. And I know that Eric Bengal has some limited time. He's at the chiropractor office and stuff. So Eric, you're an interesting one, right? Because he sat me down, and this guy was looking for flights to go home the first day. right? Like at the end of the first day, he's like, yo, I don't know if this, like, tell us about your experience. Like, why were you so resistant the first day? What shifted in that first day to where the end of it, like Eric's like sitting there jumping around the entire stadium? Talk to us, man.
Yeah, I just didn't understand where I was emotionally. And I was, extremely bored, extremely reserved, extremely conservative. And I thought I knew everything he was saying. I've heard this a million times before. Tony Robbins is a motivational speaker, and I've been to thousands, maybe hundreds of motivational speakers in the past. And I just thought, well, look, nothing's going to change me. If I can get out of Dodge, I was in a little bit of what I considered an area in Newark where I was a little bit of maybe afraid walking around at night. But yeah, after we did the firewalk, everything changed in my universe. It's like it just my whole perspective changed. And since the event, I've primed every day. Every morning I get up, I do my 3 gratitudes, I do my visualization. I've changed my state completely. I watch at least one Tony Robbins video every day. There's the 3 S's he talks about: changing your state, having a story, and having a strategy. And most of us focus on the strategy and not the state. But if we can put ourselves in a state where we're ready for the day, we're ready to tackle anything, you don't really even have to have a strategy. It's like going out and playing football. You can be a great football player just because you put yourself in that state. Or you can overanalyze everything and be a horrible football player or a hockey player or golfer or whatever you do if it's sports wise. But yeah, it was a phenomenal event. It's in California next year. I encourage everybody on this call to consider going. It changed my life. It really did, and I just can't wait to go back.
Man, what was your biggest? Do you have one takeaway that was like, man, this was like the one thing that I can never go back to?
Oh yeah, it's just making the decision that I'm not an introverted person. I've always thought that I'm introverted, and I'm not this jump up and down and crazy person, but I'm not introverted. I can talk a good talk. I can get on the phone and make conversation, and that was the biggest thing for me. Is I was looking so inward at myself that I didn't realize that f all this. It's like I can be whoever I want to be, and I didn't care who was looking at me at the seminar. Everybody's jumping around. I'm thinking, well, they're all jumping around. I want to jump around. So, yeah, just taking the attention off of me and putting it on everybody else in that auditorium, the 14 other thousand people that were there. And you could tell the further you got away from the stage, the more reserved people were. The people that are close to the stage, they're paying to be there. They're going crazy, but they're in a state of beingness that just is phenomenal. So yeah, it was a great event. Thanks for encouraging me to go.
The energy in the room is something that you guys will never experience, right? Like I get drunk off of the energy, right? And like I'm one of those crazy ass people because I can feel it, right? And it's such an amazing experience. And like there's a lot of naysayers when you come back. Oh, did you jump around? Did you do this? Yes. And I had a fucking blast, right? Like I loved life, right? Like, and like you have a choice on how you look at everything. And I just want to show people like the other side, right? Because we get stuck in these ruts and these daily routines and doing things for everybody else. And now it's time to focus on us because the more you can focus on yourself, the more that you can come back and help other people, as Kelly was saying. And I will come back and I see questions and stuff popping up, but there's some people that are jumping in and have to jump out. And so, Eric, if you have any, like, stay on as long as you can, man. But
Yeah, no,
I
actually, I have
appreciate
to
you
jump. I
jumping
have to
on.
jump off. I asked the staff to cover for me for a couple minutes, but I got to jump off. And I really appreciate you guys being on this call. Looks like there's 60 some people. That's great. So phenomenal call today, Larry, and we'll just keep this momentum going.
Absolutely.
And watch
Thanks,
the
brother. Have a
newsletter.
great
The
day.
newsletter. I had to manually send out the newsletter this week. So if you didn't get it, just send me an email. I'll send it to you. But the ADR
Sounds
newsletter did
great.
go out. So okay, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Eric. All right. And and now I see a few other folks that have been with us on this journey and stuff on the past. Robert Whitecount, how's it going over there, brother? Are you in California today? Like, where are you guys at?
Yeah, we're in sunny San Diego for the holidays. Just got back from a nice little northern tour. It was awesome. So yeah, we're in San Diego, living the dream.
Very cool, man. And I know that you are not new to Tony Robbins, but you went, when we had 40 people with our group last year, you came and attended. Why do you continue to, oh, look at that. Defy the odds, baby. Defy the odds. Why do you continue to go back? Like, what do you continue to get out of this guy yelling at you and like breaking you down and stuff like that? Like, what do you get from an event like that?
Well, just a little history. I first attended a Tony Robbins Firewalk in the late 80s, early 90s when it literally first came out. And I thought for sure I was going to die. And just like I look at it this way, real estate's the same way. If you're prospecting, you feel like you're going to die. People are going to beat you up and be mean to you. It's the same thing. So I started the first time, then I was really heavy into following Tony Robbins. I still am today. But when I got a chance to bring my wife, I've done this all on my own. Selfishly, looking back, that was a big mistake in my opinion. When I brought Carla to Tony Robbins, that was the biggest, most amazing breakthrough ever in the history of the world, at least in my life. And now, even today, if we get down, we boom, what's your move, honey? And she does her move. And then her attitude, honey's not right. Yeah, that's right. Her attitude changes. She didn't want to jump up and down like Eric. She didn't want to do it. Guess what? I got a lot of videos of her going bananas because you need to dance like no one's watching. And that's when it all gets awesome. Get out of your own way, man. And I was the same way. I was like, look at these idiots jumping around. I am too cool for that shit. When you break away from all of that, oh my God, it is amazing. I wish I was there just to watch Jeff Russell go bananas because he's my absolute hero. And I love that guy. And I can't wait to be there next year. I don't know. I could keep going on.
No, you want to see Eric Bangle get down like that guy, like let
That
loose.
was amazing. That was amazing to see the transition there.
But anyway,
Yes,
I've had a
absolutely.
great experience with Tony Robbins, and the Firewalk, so amazing. I had to go back around and do it again.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. Well, yes, I can't wait. It's going to be in your home court of California, which should make it a lot easier for a lot of people on this call to get there. And we'll talk about dates and stuff like that here shortly and stuff.
I'm bringing
as well.
my kids this time.
Yes,
My
yeah, I
adult
brought my
children.
17. Yes, that is a game changer as well. So wonderful. What was I gonna say? There was something, but I'm gonna have to come back to it. Jay Mack, how's it going over there, brother?
My man, it's going. It is going.
Are you officially like a
I'm
part
close.
of EXP here?
I'm close.
You're
I mean,
close. Okay.
on paper and addendums and to my original ICA, yes. But helping a couple people transition, make sure they get paid because that's kind of important. But other than that, yeah, I'm basically back. I'm just not.
Well, you're on the call.
I'm here. I'm here. I wish I was in Puerto Rico though.
Right. Right. Well, talk to me. You have an interesting, like your family has an interesting relationship with Tony Robbins. When did your relationship with Tony Robbins start?
Man, I was probably 10, 11 years old. I think my mom got licensed in 1988, 89, something like that. And I absolutely despised Tony Robbins. I could not stand him. And the reason for that was my mom would take me to hockey, baseball, football, whatever sport I was in, take me to practice. And she had these big plastic cases with all the cassette tapes in it, right? And she would play it, right? And I just remember being 10, 11, 12 years old, going to practice and just, Mom, I don't need to be motivated. Like, I'm already motivated. I want to win. I want to do this. I don't need this, And I just despised him. And then it was, God, I don't even know. I think it was 2020. Brent Gove was doing Build, and
Yeah.
he was having Tony Robbins speak. And the story of how he got Tony Robbins was phenomenal. But he had he was going to have Tony Robbins speak, and it kept getting pushed back because of COVID, right? And so, my mom had never been to a Tony Robbins event, so I was, I had a ticket for her, and we just did general admission, and then just kept getting pushed back, pushed back. Well, unfortunately, my mom passed away in December of 2020, and it got pushed back, I think, to 2021 or something like that. And I just remember sitting there, and I'm like, I was only really going just to appease my mom, give her that opportunity, and I just made a decision. I was like, I'm gonna upgrade my ticket, right? Because now I have this extra ticket. I'm gonna upgrade my ticket to diamond level or whatever it was, get as close as possible. I'm like, I'm gonna give this guy an absolute shot, right? And I think I was there maybe 2 hours into it. And next thing I know, I'm crying. And then I had this epiphany while I was at that event. This was about halfway through of his 6-7 hours talking. I had this epiphany that Tony Robbins literally paved my way 20 plus years ago indirectly, because I ended up following my mom into real estate, and she got a lot of things out of Tony Robbins to help build her real estate business. And it was just an eye-opening moment for me. And then next thing I know, I'm like, I love you, Tony Robbins.
Yes, and then you went last year, so that was just like a sneak peek, right? That was like a snack of Tony Robbins, and then you joined us last year at UPW. You've already told me like there's no way that you're missing next year. Like, what was your biggest takeaway last year when you went to the full 4-day immersion?
So it's a lot like Jeff's, right? Like, I felt uncomfortable. I was looking around, I was kind of like Robert too, like, man, I'm not about to jump around. Like, what are these people doing? I don't need cardio. I like my carbs, like, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, but then once you kind of opened up, and I mean, they're long days, right? So by like 7 o'clock at night, it's like, you better just start joining, or you're gonna crash. You might as well just enjoy it. You're here, you paid for it, run with it. But I think my biggest takeaway was the limiting beliefs thing, right? I remember being super pumped up to walk across fire because I was very huge into cold baths. So I'm like, man, I've jumped into 30-degree water, sat in it for 8 minutes. Like, I can't wait to do the complete opposite, right? And just walk across fire just to say I did it, right? And I remember getting in that line. And as it was like 4 or 5 people away, I remember all of a sudden now I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, but the cool part about it was there was like 6 or 7 rows of these coals and 6 and 7 lines. And I just remember standing there like, I got no choice now. There's no way I'm backing out in front of 10,000 people and they're going to watch me do a walk of shame. I might as well just walk across. What's the worst that'll happen? I'll get a couple blisters, like whatever. And man, when I walked across that, it was one of those moments that nobody can ever take away from me. And I remember, because they have 2 people at the end who stop you because they want to spray your feet off, right? I completely forgot about them. I almost barreled through them because I was so pumped up, and they're holding me back, and I'm just like, "Rah," I'm like, and I think you had just walked before me, and there was like maybe 10 people in our group that were waiting. And man, just that energy that you guys gave and I gave back, and it just made me realize that, and I have a son with mild cerebral palsy. And so I tell him all the time, I'm like, listen, he's got a limp. He walks with a limp. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, listen, you're not limited by your limitations. And it's just because of that moment, I'll never forget that, I just, it was, I was so sad I wasn't there this year, man. I wanted to just stand on that fire and not even walk, just to prove a point. Like, I mean, it was just life changing, man. It really was.
And guys, you're hearing a lot of people talk about jumping around, dancing, like this energy, right? And that's partially because one of the things that it teaches you is about your physiology, right? Think about it. Like, you ever walked into a room and could tell somebody was sad? Like, shake of heads, thumbs up, like anybody, right? You walk in and right, you see it, like somebody's like, oh, how you doing? Fine, right? Like, and you're like, like trying to walk the other way, right? Same thing. You ever walk into a room and like somebody's so fucking happy that you just walk in and you're next to them and you're like, yeah, like I just feel better, right? Like, it's because your physiology helps so much. If anybody's ever played sports, have you ever been in that flow state, that zone? Anybody, remember watching like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, right? Like, where they're like, give me the ball, but you have four people guarding you. I don't give a shit about them. Give me the ball, right? Like, I'm going to score, right? To where they're so certain that nobody can stop them. That starts with their physiology and then sinks into their mindset. It is a belief, right? It's not like a thought like, oh, it would be nice if I scored this basket. Like, no, it's that without a doubt, I'm scoring this, right? We are winning this championship. Give me the ball because I can make this shot type thing. It's a practice that they've been doing for year after year after year to build those different muscles. Hey, Robert, I'm assuming that you probably grew up in the same cars and stuff over there as your brother. With that, have you ever been to a Tony Robbins event in person?
I have not. I have invested heavily into his audio CDs and books probably 15, 20 years ago. So I'm definitely a fan of his and his content, but I have not had the pleasure of going to an.
Well, he's only one state away for next year. So
Yeah, so next year it's going to be a lot closer, brother. And generally, I don't know the location for sure yet, but the last few times it's been in California has been in San Jose, which is probably a 3 or 4 hour drive from you, right? So next year, 5 hours. Okay, 5 hours is worth changing your life. Like, start making a mental note, right? Like, start prepping for this today, right? Like, start planning for that next year, this is how you're going to go into 2026 is with this energy, with this mindset and stuff for next year. All right. Jerry Staff, what's going on, young man?
What's up, Mr. White?
Are you up in Northern California or Southern California today?
I'm in my house in Southern California. Yes.
Beautiful.
We finished decorating over the weekend.
Beautiful, man. Well, look, I know that last time you came and you brought a group of your kids and friends and stuff like that. And from somebody that is successful in everybody's eyes and stuff already, right? You've done so much in the real estate industry and every career path that you've had. You've built a beautiful life. You have a great relationship. You have a beautiful relationship with your kids, your wives, with the Almighty, right? And everything else. Like, what was your biggest takeaway, right? When you were able to sit through that last year and stuff with us, what was your biggest takeaway, man?
Well, there's this thing that that I do weekly and daily, and it's self reflection, right? And sometimes as we gain in experience, as we gain in knowledge, sometimes we also gain layers of, I want to call it layers of disconnection of what is really inside us, right?
Okay.
And being able to recognize these layers that build up in you, being able to recognize them and turn them into a positive where you can use that to help other people around you, right? And to be able to use that experience when you're trying to help somebody to connect to that person to have those breakthroughs, right? To me is something that it's refreshed me, and it continues to refresh me every single day.
Beautiful, man. Well, hopefully with it being in California, I
Oh,
want
I'm going. I'm going.
Joseph
If it's
Lima,
California's my state, and I'm going.
and we're dragging. I don't care if I have to stop by and pick up Joseph Limo and James Cottrell. Like, it's not an option. It's not like, hey, I want you guys to go. Like, it's not an optional thing if it's in California, Joseph Limo. Do you hear me?
I hear you, brother, loud and clear.
Hey,
Larry,
well,
I don't
Larry,
care what you have. I don't care what you have going on. We will work around it.
they,
What were you
they,
gonna say, J Matt?
they miss me enough. They'll come see me in
That's
California.
true. This is actually this is the reason why, Larry. You
I
get
don't care
Justin
what the
there. I'm gonna
reason
go
is.
visit my buddy.
Yeah.
Larry, we'll put him in my plane and tell him we're going to Catalina.
Yes, there you go.
Let's go. I'm coming. Hey, let me know when you get back from Puerto Rico. I'll come out there and fly to Catalina with you.
Hey, Larry, I have one
Yes.
more thing to add before I hop
Yeah,
off.
please.
I think that if you have a team, there's a lot of things you can bring back as well. Just to help, like the priming exercise, the little morning dance party, mid-afternoon dance party, right? Like when you have a team, even if it's an admin staff, like bringing them together every day is so I feel like you'll get a lot out of that as well, like to help your team and keep their mindset, because if you're an admin, it can get redundant sometimes. So it's just so just something to add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I already told Kathy is on here, who is like I wouldn't be able to do what I do without her. She helps run a lot of our back end and stuff. And we were already talking like next year, you plan for this, like, plan for you to be there. Because again, like I don't want to be the only one with the life change, right? Like I want to be on this journey with all of you guys at the end of the day. And so I did see a couple of questions here. I posted a link to a YouTube that is for the priming exercise. You heard, Kelly, like you've heard everybody talk about it. It's a simple way to start your day, right? Where it's a breath work technique that starts increasing the circulation, the oxygen to your brain. You feel more awake. But here's the why I do it is because it runs you through this sequence of looking at what you're grateful for right now, because most people forget about this, right? There's so much for us to be grateful for. We get so busy that we forget about that. So it starts your day off focusing with, focusing on what you're grateful for, events in the past. You start doing some future visions of, all right, like let's picture a couple of things as if they've already happened, right? Step into that. What do you feel, right? Because like you'll start to move that direction when you can envision it, right? Like I'm getting ready to do some posts. I was cleaning out my garage and I found this. This is probably from like 2006 or so. It's an old dream board, right? You can see on here this old Volkswagen. And those of you guys that know me, I now have a fully restored 1963 Volkswagen. That was my aunt's that had passed away. That's now fully restored. So that's done. I've had that car and stuff in the past. Like I have 3 beautiful kids. This watch, I actually have this watch with about 2 carats of diamond embezzlement and stuff on it. Like I was married to my beautiful bride. We've had like literally it starts with a vision. Right? It starts with if you can't see it right now, guys, like you're not going to be able to get there. You have to see it as if it has already happened in your life. And then, once you complete this, like then you flip it over to the other side, right? And then it's all of the other things. And so it's a constant growth process and stuff there. And I want to be on that journey and stuff with all of you guys. But that priming exercise, it's quick. It's 10 minutes. You guys, if you're like, I don't have time for 10 minutes, then you have to do it, right? Because you're full of shit right now. If you don't have 10 minutes for yourself, or if you don't make 10 minutes for yourself,
it's amazing. And it's
Yes.
helped a lot of people in my life already. So
and it's only been a couple of weeks.
I
right?
know, it's amazing, but it's only 10 minutes. Everyone has 10 minutes in the morning, and it's a game changer. I promise.
Yeah, so I put that I put that link in there for everybody to have, and then when I started doing Tony Robbins, he used to do 4 in-person events every single year. The guy's getting old, right? Like his vocal cords are like paper thin. They're supposed to be the size of your lips. It's literally the size of a piece of paper, right? He has to have other people come in and help out now. I don't know. Like, I hope he doesn't. Like, my biggest thing is, man, I want my kids to see this, right? Like, you guys all have the opportunity. Now he does one in-person event every single year. It will be in November. It's going to be in California. We don't have the exact dates, but generally it's around the second weekend. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think the biggest value is for the VIP tickets, which are generally about $2,000 a piece. Because we've been going for so long and we've taken so many people, we get a major group discount of I think it was $800 if I'm not mistaken.
It was 800 each.
Okay, yeah. So we get a great price, over 50% off on it, and man, I would love for all of you guys to be there and start planning that out. Right, California will be a lot easier for most of us. There's a lot more flights and stuff in there. Travel and everything else should be a little bit easier. As I get more information, I will get it out to you guys. They haven't announced the dates. They haven't but we will get pre-sale ticket opportunities and stuff like that. And so we will get all of that stuff together, and I will get it out. It probably won't be out for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I'm assuming. But when I have it, I will get it out to everybody, and I would love for all of you guys to do that. We'll have one of our Tony Robbins reps come on, and yeah, I would love to attend with as many of you guys as possible there. Mark, what's going on, brother?
Would you recommend bringing your non-real estate spouse to this?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a real estate event. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a life event. Yeah, it's a life event. And here's the thing. You are going to experience these breakthroughs. You want them to don't be selfish, right? Like, share that, because the more breakthroughs that she has, the more breakthroughs that you guys have together, the more you guys are going to be able to work through, right? The more that you guys are going to be on the same page and stuff like that. So 1,000%, Mark.
I found it interesting. My father was in the business, and listening to Justin, so I always had to listen to the cassettes and the audios, and I've just kind of had an aversion to the rah-rah. So Justin, it was very interesting to hear your insight on it, and that's actually what might change my mind.
Well, I don't think anybody has ever considered Eric Bangle to be rah-rah, but man, by the second day, like, he was all in. And that's like when you lean into it, right? Like, that's when you're going to get the growth, right? Like when you can fight it. Like, you have options, right? Like, you have options, you make choices. Like, so you can fight it, or you can, again, you're there for 4 days, and so you know that you're going to have long days, little food, but your body has everything that it needs, and like, let's go at that point in time. So yeah, man, I would definitely recommend that for you, your spouse, anybody else that is in your life that you care about, Mark.
You had me until little food. I might have to learn more about that.
Yeah, it's okay. I survived. And I'm an eater.
Snacks. You can bring snacks.
Okay.
We saw an agent colleague of ours when we were there. She was actually down in, what was it, Platinum? But anyway, she brought her 2 sons, and by day 3, he was like, "Oh my God, this has done so much for me, my sons, our family." So I mean, not just your spouses, but even depending on how old your children are, a lot of people brought their children.
Yes, sir. Any other questions, comments, concerns for us today, guys?
You can always bring a backpack and bring food if you need to.
Yeah, you can bring, depending on the venue, right? Every venue has different rules and regulations and stuff like that, but there's ways to make sure, like, you're not going to starve.
I was joking about the little about that, but what is the deal with food?
I mean, generally you get like when Tony's speaking, it's a lot worse when Tony's speaking because he doesn't know how to use a clock. He goes off of feelings and stuff like that. So, I mean, you'll be there you'll start at 9 a.m. and oh man, I don't know, go till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night some days, like 1, 2 in the morning, and you have like an hour break.
Oh, that's fine.
You
And
sneak
Larry-
in snacks.
I don't eat
Yeah.
during the day in real estate anyway. I just eat a lot of
All
junk at the
right.
end of the day.
Larry, I don't know how it was with the stadium seating because we had the open seating last time, but you're actually
Yeah.
there like 6 in the morning because you got to get your seat. And so if we get 50 people,
Yeah.
then we don't have to get up till 8 and we can just walk in at 9 and be there, because they'll block off the whole thing for us.
There's motivation, yeah, because you have to get there early to get good seats. So 50 people is our goal, so that way we can have our own section and stuff blocked off there. That's the goal.
And the last thing you want is Larry White at 5:30 in the morning coming in your room and waking you up. That's
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Because he's so rah rah rah. Like at 5 in the morning, he's already had 3 cold brews. He's ready to go. So he's already did like an hour and a half workout. You know what I mean? So
Yes, sir. I will drag you to the top of the hill with me. That's for sure. But we will get there together. Any other questions, comments, concerns on it, guys? Well, man, I'm so grateful for everybody that I've shared that experience with. Again, the goal is 50 people next year. Like I see a lot of you guys, it's going to be non-negotiable for you. Yes, I'm talking to you there, right? Like you know who you are. Like it's non-negotiable. Like you will be there, right? So make sure that you're planning for it and stuff, and we will get it taken care of. But man, I appreciate you guys so much. And Jeff Russell, like Kelly Jones, enjoy that mastermind. Can't wait to hear your guys' takeaways and stuff on next week's call. And let me just give you a little heads up. So next week we have Social Realtor, which is a group that's it's a social media company that does a lot with like Tom Ferry, and he's going to talk about how to rank higher on Google, right? Which is a big thing because it's the biggest search engine that we have here in the US. Like that's bigger than Zillow, than Realtor.com, etc. So imagine if somebody was Googling, San Diego, California, and Robert Whitekill was on the first page of Google, right? Without them typing in Robert Whitekill. We're going to learn some tips and tricks and stuff on that. So make sure that you're here next week for that. If you guys need anything in the meantime, call, text, or email me. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day, guys.